Hello, YouTube. Let me just get it set up here. Waiting for my TikTok people to turn up. Okay. One more plug. Okay, it's a parenting Q&A. Hello. See some familiar name. Familiar. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Familiar names. Anyway, while we're waiting, I'd love to know where you're from. I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. I can only be on here for maybe 20 minutes today. So where are you from while we're waiting here? South Carolina. Hi, South Carolina. Florida. I wonder if I'll ever get there. Colorado. Florida's really far away. UK. Saudi Arabia. Hanan GT. A few people from Saudi Arabia because I get different names from Saudi Arabia. New York. Hi, New York. I went there for my 50th birthday 12 years ago. Can't believe it's been 12 years. All we did was walk around for 8 hours. I never saw one tourist attraction. I just got the feel for New York. I could live there. I'm a city girl. I loved it. It's fantastic. The only problem with New York was just trying to find bathrooms. That's all we seemed to do was walk for hours looking for bathrooms. Hi, South Africa. Hi, I am your regular. Okay, we'll just get going. I know there's a really small number so far, and it's kind of a weird time right now for me to be on. No, it isn't. I often say that, and I'm often on this time. Anyway, so this isn't a weird time for me. It's just I've only got about 20 minutes today. So all the Saudis you saw before are my friends. That's cute. Been recommending your account for them. Thanks so much for sharing. Okay, so while, sorry, I'm going to get going now. I'm just all fuzzy. It's the first time I've talked to anyone today. I've just been working on admin stuff all morning, so I haven't got my talking going yet. Anyway, so if you go on my link above, it has everything up there that you would, if you're interested in anything I have to offer, it's all in there, courses, coaching, and my free behavior board. That teaches you how to give respect to get it because you're on there too. And my new course is 5 weeks to get respect. First 3 weeks are behavior boards. Then after that, it goes off the behavior boards. Your advice is like the Bible for me. Thank you very much. I call that course the Bible, but then I stopped doing that because it might sound religious. It's not the Bible. It's just sort of the encyclopedia of pretty much everything that I talk about with 3 to 12-year-olds. If you're really struggling or you've got crisis work or you've got teenagers, that would be private coaching one-on-one. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Guess what? I'm expecting my first. Oh, you are. Congratulations. Very excited, but oh, so frightened. Don't be. Everything just seems to fall into place, but it's messy. I mean, they poop a lot. They're up all night. You just have to learn to go with it. As long as mom and baby are happy and healthy, that's all you should worry about. Don't worry about housework or cooking or anything else that you don't have to do. Okay. Just mom and baby happy and healthy. That's it. That's your baseline. Anything else is a bonus. Okay. And do not look at those Instagram moms who are all perfect. You know those ones that just look gorgeous in loungewear and they just had a baby? I bought some loungewear. Gee, I look horrible. I'm really slim, but I don't know why I couldn't pull it off. I just look hideous in loungewear. But you see these moms, they're all fresh and shiny looking and they're in loungewear. It's always like a light pink or a white. I mean, they just look perfect. Perfect little baby. Do not look at them. That's not reality. Go look up mum fails or funny mum fails and stuff like that. That's reality. If you got baby poop on your forehead, that's reality. You got to have a sense of humor about parenting. Newly 4, why do they want all the control? Because you don't have it. That's why. No one's got it. That's why they're looking for it. They wouldn't even try if they already had a leader. They just don't. Because children need, crave, and want leadership. If they don't get it, they try and do it. It's just the way it is. But they need, crave, and want it. When they have leadership, they don't fight you for it. I'm not talking about the authority control type of thing. It's about leadership. They feel safe when they have a leader. They also, they feel better about themselves. They tend to have higher self-esteem when they've got a leader as a parent. They just do. They know what's expected of them, and they're quite happy to do what's expected of them. And there's mutual respect there because you're accountable too. Four-year-old boy keeps aggravating 9-year-old sister. Just put it on the behavior board. Say, quit bugging your sister. And then you put down, I will decide what that is. Okay. She may antagonize him too. So you got to watch it and figure out the situation. Oftentimes, parents will hire me for we call it the target kid, which one they really hired me for. And often that's not the one that's causing the problem. They're the one that's reacting by hitting and yelling and screaming. But I say, you watch it, and this is what you're looking out for. So I'll tell them what to watch for. Sure enough, it's another sibling that's just poking the bear. So make sure you've got that right. He's probably just trying to get her attention. Do you do a lot of stuff with them as a whole, like as a family? Not competitive stuff, but just fun stuff where you go out and you all have fun together. That's more likely to build the relationship between them. I had 5 years between my kids, a boy and a girl. My daughter won't sleep. She's almost 5. Well, that's a broad statement. So she never sleeps? Like, I don't know what you mean by that. Okay. How do I help 4-year-old process anger, stomping feet, and gritting teeth? If you're a leader, that doesn't generally happen. They're generally a lot calmer and just easier to be around when they have a leader. They usually feel when they're aggravated all the time, they're really sensitive, they're very highly emotive. That's because they don't have a leader. Children with leaders tend to calm down and just they're easier to be around. They have more level emotions. A lot of the frustration with children these days is because they don't have a leader. They desperately need, crave, and want a leader. It's a natural instinct to be for them to want a leader. They need, crave, and want it. Every single troubled teen I've ever worked with has said the exact same thing, but in different words to me. They've said, I wish my parents had been tougher on me growing up. In other words, they didn't have a leader. They didn't have discipline. No one was directing them. No one was helping them. And that is part of that's part of parenting, is being a leader. So yeah, they don't want it now. Those troubled teens do not want discipline now, but they identify that they are where they are because their parents weren't leaders. How do I become a leader? I have a whole course on that if you have a 3 to a 12-year-old. And I'll explain the toddler stuff in a minute. If it's a toddler, that course is not for you. But some parents of toddlers have bought it because the 3-year-old is coming up soon anyway. So you want to be prepared for that. 3 to 12, it goes through everything, how to be a leader. Anyway, if it's under 3, toddlers are all about consistent corrective actions. They're not listening to you at all. Mini therapy sessions are garbage. I know it's trendy right now to discuss all the big feelings and big emotions. That's for you, not your toddler. Okay, so it's all about consistent corrective actions, and have fun with them in their world. You play with them in their world. Get down on the ground and play blocks with them or whatever. You don't just take them on the swing and on your phone and yeah, way to go. It's not just observing them having fun. Get in their world and play with them. Also, the 2 best tips for living with toddlers: completely child-proof your house so that there's nothing they can get into. I never had to say no to my kids because there was nothing they could get into. Also, do a toy rotation system so they're not bored. Laugh my A off. No, I was a troubled teen. No, you are so wrong. Okay. Then you haven't worked with me, obviously. Once I get close to a teenager, they all say that. And when I say discipline, it's not so much that they want to be punished, but they identify they didn't get the leadership they wanted. They didn't have a mentor. They didn't look up to their parents. That's basically what they're saying. I didn't have anyone to look up to. That's basically what they're saying. They didn't have a leader. Okay. What do you mean by he has a trampoline he can access? Is there a question there? Okay. How do I get my nearly 3-year-old to stop jumping on the couch? I take him down each time. 3-year-old. Okay, just put down on the behavior board, no jumping on the couch. And every time he does, there's a consequence. That's what I would do. The behavior board starts at 3. Everything's linked up above. Just hit that link and everything I've got's up there. The behavior board's completely free. So yeah, put that on the behavior board. No jumping on the couch. Yeah. Any advice from going to 1 kid to 2 kids, new 3-year-old and a newborn due in a couple of weeks? You cannot prepare a young child for a new baby coming into the house. This is them at the hospital. I love my little brother. And you're going, oh my, what? You're just going to be the best big sister or brother. You get them home and they chuck the baby on the floor. Like they just don't really understand how it's going to impact their life. So yeah, all the usual stuff. Try and do one-on-one time with them. Try and get them involved with helping with the baby. All that stuff too, but it's going to be an adjustment period. A 15-month-old that hits her head when she hurts herself, she doesn't get what she wants. Yeah, they do that. You just have to protect them. If they're really prone to doing that, then know it's coming and just grab them, or put one of those foam helmets on them. Lots of my clients have got those foam helmets because of that, and they'll outgrow that. They just don't understand consequences. They just can't see that. They just don't understand pain. If you were to say that, you're going to hurt yourself, don't bother talking to them. Just put a helmet on them or watch them like a hawk. So when they are getting mad, you just prevent them from hitting their head on the floor. But yeah, they do stuff like that all the time. Toddlers are crazy. They're brand new, fresh human beings. They've got one marble and some tumbleweed floating around in there. There's nothing wrong with toddlers. Your expectations of them are what's out of whack. You just don't get that they have no context of the world yet. Imagine if you've only been in this world for 2 years and one of those you were a potato laying on a mattress. How could you possibly understand pain or what it's going to feel like later? And they're just forming. Yeah, someone just said something to someone else in there about bonding with them together. I talk about this a lot. A lot of people who really struggle with bonding with their kids, they try and do the one-on-one time. I don't recommend that. What it does is it tends to build resentment between the kids. Well, you had 1 minute more than I did, and then you're not building their relationship. So whenever you're trying to bond with your kids and have happy family unity, do it all as a family. If you want family unity, do it as a family. This one-on-one stuff, it's overrated. I know it's talked about. I don't talk about it. Yeah, you want to have family unity. And yeah, there's going to be times where like I had a boy and a girl. My daughter didn't want to go to ballet class. I mean, my son didn't want to go to ballet class with us. But I did other things with him. But then when we were home together, we did everything together sort of. So yeah. Um, Okay, how long on average would it take for a 3-year-old to understand the behavior board and how it works? Usually takes a couple of days before they understand it. When do they get on board with the board? Usually 3 weeks. The first week can be hell or can be a honeymoon week because you're on there too, right? So I honestly can't predict it. By about the third week, it has nothing to do with the kids. By about the third week, you're starting to change. You're starting to get it. That course sort of explains all that. If you're interested in that, it's linked up above. It's Get Respect in 5 weeks. But it's about 3 weeks that you start to feel different because you know how to make that behavior board work. You have 3 of them after 3 weeks. You're starting to get it, and they're starting to react to you. You lead, and they will follow. They're just reacting to you. The behavior board, they can understand that. Within a couple of days, they get it. But when they start getting on board with it is when you get good at it. Advice on older sibling pestering younger ones. Okay, I would put something like this: quit bugging your younger siblings and say, I will decide what that is. Okay, so every time they do, they say, okay, here's your favorite toy. Yep, they get to play with it for the next 10 minutes without you interfering. So you mean to them, here, they get your favorite toy for a half hour, an hour, or whatever. So yeah, that's what you do. You're mean to them, now you have to be nice to them by sharing your favorite toy. That's one of my best ones, like in that I get the best feedback from that. It's simple, and they say it usually works. I blocked you like 5 times already. Why do you keep popping up? Uh, okay. I'm really struggling with my son who's 9. My only issue is his mouth. His back talking is crazy. I'm really struggling. Well, that's not his only issue. His issue is he doesn't respect you because their attitude is great when you're a leader. It just is. They never give you sass or back talk. Why would they? Because you're a mentor. They want to please you. So yeah, work on your leadership skills. Remember, it's never the kids. We're not fixing kids here. We're teaching parents. You lead, they will follow. It's never the kids. So what you're saying, can I interpret this differently? You said, I'm really struggling with my son who is 9. He's really struggling with you, by the way. My only issue is his mouth. His only issue is your lack of leadership. His back talking is crazy. I'm begging her for leadership. That's the whole conversation. That's just switch it around. Okay. It's nothing to do with him. It's you. Work on your leadership skills. You lead, you're their leader. It's the leader's responsibility to lead, right? The parenting should be about leading. Um, I feel like I'm a trigger for him. He's just saying, come on, lead, come on, come on. That's all he's saying. If you want, check out my course. It's up above. It's linked up above, 5 weeks to get respect. That's the best advice I can give you here if you really want to learn how to do this stuff. It's got everything in there. Yeah, check it out. Takes about 5 weeks and you'll start to see a big difference. Well, here's the same thing. You've got a 6-year-old who's ignoring you. Work on your leadership skills. It's not about the kids, it's about you. It totally is. Every time I work with parents in coaching or on the courses, they always say the same thing. Oh, I get it. It is about me. Yeah, it is. It just is. If if I had a big company where I had thousands of employees and we were failing, would I blame the employees? No, I go, what am I missing here? What am I missing? How can I restructure things? How can I be a better leader? Right? Take responsibility. That's what I would do. Like with parenting, take responsibility of your children's behavior. It's 100% reflection of your parenting. It has nothing to do with them. Their behavior is 100% a reflection of your parenting and your lack of leadership or your leadership skills. Okay? People used to say to me all the time, "Oh God, you're so lucky you got the easiest kids in the world." And people who knew me, I put the work into that. I earned that. I earned that respect. I had to work for that. You don't just demand it, you command it. You give respect to get it. Okay, I've started ignoring my 2-year-old tantrums and I've seen great improvement with the duration of them. Perfect. They just stop. They eventually learn, well, this ain't working. I may as well stop doing it. They just tend to go towards what works and they avoid what doesn't. That happens at around 3. Okay, I've got 9 more minutes. That happens around 3 to 3.5. They really get it. Um, They're not like us, by the way. We're stupid like us adults. We keep doing the same thing expecting different results. Children aren't formed yet. Their habits are not cemented yet like ours can be. I know we can change them, but it's harder, right? Because it's a whole cycle. It has to do with your brain. We're not as pliable. It's not as spongy and taking stuff in as well as it used to. So because we get cemented in a certain way. I always say I got cement brain. I'm 62 years old. You kind of get cemented with certain things. So anyway, but little kids aren't like that. They're little sponges. So if something ain't working, they pop it out. Tantrums ain't working, pops out. Any attention is feeding it. Do not feed the tantrum. It's like watering plants. Don't keep watering the tantrum. Don't keep feeding it. Those tantrums will naturally just stop. It's an organic process. Do not discuss a tantrum with a child. Do not do the mini therapy sessions. They are total trash, garbage. I know they're trendy right now, but they're ridiculous. That's for you, not your toddler. Absolutely ridiculous. The more I hear about that, because it's my clients who tell me. I don't know what other people are teaching, just my clients tell me stuff. And I don't need to know much of it because I'm teaching you what to do. I don't need to know what not to do, right? Why would I look at that? Anyway, it's like if you go to a diet center, they talk about what to do. They don't talk about how you gain weight. We talk about how you're going to lose it, right? It's the same thing that's how I deal with all this. But all my clients say, but I was told you should validate all their feelings. And they said, well, isn't that why you're where you are? Like, isn't that why you had to hire me? We don't do that. We're not ignoring the child, but we're ignoring the bad behavior. We're ignoring the behavior that we don't want. We're ignoring the behavior that they want to learn. They say, oh, this ain't working. Maybe I'll be a better person. Maybe I'll find a better way. That's the whole point behind this. Because if you validate every single thought and feeling, then every single tantrum is okay. Every single lashing out, every single bullying situation, you're validating all of that behavior. You just are. I could go on and on about that. Okay, stop, Lisa. She's my first child, very strong-willed. I'm learning, but I try and remember I'm in control. Yeah, you can only control yourself. Once you've got yourself under control and you know how to do this, like my body language, if I'm working with a kid, well, I don't do it anymore, but I used to work with kids all the time. When I was working with a really difficult kid who would pull out troubled teens, by the way, and some of them were really violent, and they'd pull out all the stops. They knew all the tricks. If I showed fear or that I was upset or disappointed in them, I wouldn't have got anywhere. I just had to wait it out and go, yeah, okay, there you go. Like stuff like that. I don't let any of that stuff affect me. I focus on the good kid, the bad kid. I try to just sort of say, yeah, okay, then. That's when I was mentoring kids. It's not, parenting's different. If you're dealing with a troubled kid and it's yours, teenager, that's different. But I definitely get you to still focus on the good kid, but we don't just go, yeah, okay, that was interesting. That as a mentor, that's more the attitude I got. And then they get to the point where they get embarrassed because you become their mentor. They want to please you. So it's just embarrassing being rude to your mentor. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of power in making them feel good about themselves. If you're the source of them feeling good about themselves, they would be embarrassed to be rude to you. Think about that. If you looked up to someone and they made you feel great about yourself, wouldn't you be embarrassed to act like an idiot and say rude things? It's the exact same with kids. They're no different. Okay, well, you've already answered your own question. My kids tend to have more extreme tantrums in public. I struggle to deal with it in public. That's why they're having because they know you're a different parent in public. I was the exact same parent no matter where I was. They knew exactly 100% exactly how I would react to everything. So there was no point pushing mom when we're out in public. And yeah, so that's why. Just be the same, be consistent. You're lacking consistency. Okay, I had a really rough first 4 years with my twin boys, ASD. Are they ruined forever? I'm doing my best. They're 4. I work with, I'm often hired by people with 15-year-olds, and you can still fix stuff. So no, it's not too late. Consistency is really, it's everything. Hey, oh, okay. Someone's advertising stuff. Okay. You know what's interesting is when parents say to me they're really feisty, they're really strong-willed. Um, I see that as a good thing. If you don't give them anything to butt up against, that strong-willedness I see as strength. So it's just that you're butting up against that. We don't do that. We work with it, not against it. So yeah, whenever someone says, "Oh, they're just so strong-willed," they always have to win there, and I'm like, yeah, you're providing that. You're providing that. I'll give you an example of how I know this. My son was 15 and we were really close. And he says, "You've been a really difficult mom." And he was upset when he said it. Well, I thought I was great. I said, "What?" And he says, "I've got nothing to rebel against. You're too reasonable and easy to talk to." He needed to rebel. He felt this need to rebel. And I said, "Oh, fine, go clean your room." And he never did. Rebellion taken care of. But yeah, I was too reasonable and easy to talk to. That's why there was none of this. He could have been more feisty. Of my 2 kids, he had tantrums. He could have been more feisty than my daughter, for sure. But I gave him nothing to rebel against. You see? It's you. It's always you. Okay, toddler's 2 this month. He's recently started hitting. Yeah, it's consistent corrective action. It might take 100 times, maybe even 1,000 times if it's different kids everywhere. They'll eventually learn, but because it takes repetition, repetition, repetition. And it's actions, not words. Words are absolutely pointless. With toddlers, they are an absolute waste of time. They're garbage. Just say no, and there's consistent corrective action. Take a toy away, remove him, remove the other kid, whatever, every single time. If you forget that one time out of 100, he'll still keep going. It's got to be consistent, corrective. So you teach them, you take a toy away if you hit with that, and action, not words. You can say no, and that's it. I wouldn't even bother saying that after a while. If he keeps hitting, I would just take the toy away, remove him. Yeah, I would even stop saying the word no. It's pointless. They're all about actions. They're not listening to you. They're watching you. They are not listening to you. Toddlers do not listen. They might if it suits them. But even that, they'll forget it soon enough. But they don't forget actions. They don't forget physical experiences quickly. But they forget words quickly. I see this all the time. This moms, I know they're trying to show off, trying to look like good moms, but their kids are acting out and they're down on their level. Use your words, use your words. And the toddler's looking at them, and the mom's all proud because the toddler's listening. They're not listening, by the way. They're just staring at you thinking, are you crazy? Like they're like, can I go back to the swing now? They're not listening. It's temporary. It doesn't change their behavior. That stuff does not change behavior. Actions do. How are you doing? I'm swell, thank you. No, I'm actually quite frustrated with myself right now. I changed my workout routine and I'm going every morning. And I'm a more of a morning afternoon eater. I eat a lot during the morning and afternoon, not at night. Now I start eating at night now too, so I can do my early morning routines at the gym. And I'm putting on weight, so I can't, which I don't mind so much because I'm slim anyway. But I can't fit into my pants. I just tried them on, so that's on my mind. Are you like me? If I can't fit into my clothes, it drives me nuts. The scale, I don't like that either, but it's not a big deal. But if I can't fit into my pants, it drives me nuts. So yeah, isn't that funny? It's one of my pet peeves. So it's been bugging me all morning. Is that the pettiest thing you ever heard? Ah, we all have our things. Okay, I have to go. I got a session with a client. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow. And happy parenting. Check out my link above. It's got everything in there. That course is for you if you want to learn how to become a leader over a period of 5 weeks. Okay, talk to you tomorrow. Bye, YouTube.